All mortal lives expire, but what if you could artificially extend them for a while to do your bidding? And I know what you're thinking, didn't Mitten Squad do this one 7 years ago? Yes, but also no, but also, fuck, I missed that guy. Also, I intend on doing this an entirely different way than he did. Tamer's Nif-Bashed weapons pack includes a knife known as the Veil Piercer. On top of being a regular knife that you can stab people with, it also has a special effect. On killing blows, or when you stab someone who's already dead, Veil Piercer will bring them back as a feral ghoul, who will attack all of your enemies for you. Just like the Animate Dead spell from Dungeons, and More Dungeons if you're familiar. Now, let's get into it, yeah? I start my life the same way all women do, being resurrected by level 12 wizard Mitchell. In order to acquire my own tool of necromancy, I first have to steal Doc Mitchell's chef knife. Now I have to go all the way to Freeside for the next step, so I get steppin'. For whatever insane reason, I decide to rush Vegas by going through Deathjaw territory instead of the safer Black Mountain route. I figure, what's the worst that can happen? And like usual, the answer to that question is dying. But come on, I think I'm a little bit smarter than a bunch of big dumb lizards, so I get past them just fine. Once I do, it's a clean path to Freeside, but there's still plenty more prep work. So I sell some garbage to the local garbage collectors and collect some debts off the local garbage. I use this debt money to get access to the strip, then hand it to the Garrets. Returning to the strip, I hope that starting combat with Caleb would get the NCR Securitrons to kill him. But I guess murdering people on the strip is only bad when I do it. Not to worry though, I have a plan B, and trust me, this is a good one. I head to the gun runners and buy a combat helmet to Indiana Jones' hat off him without him noticing. But for some reason, I feel like somebody's watching me, so that plan's shot. Not to worry though, I got a plan. This is a good one. I return to Goodsprings and shoot a few bottles for Sunny. You know I've never held a gun in my life, but it's okay to use it now because bottles aren't alive. I meet Ringo and form a militia to fend off the powder gangers, and when they attack, I sit back and watch the show while Cobb and the Corns get sent to hell. I pick a stealth boy off of Cobb's husk, then return to the strip, and I use it to go invisible, then place the helmet into Caleb's inventory to get him to take his hat off. But it don't work like that. Fantastic. This has been a complete waste of my time. And yours, too. Maybe I am dumber than a bunch of big dumb lizards. I guess I should explain what I was trying to do here. See, to get Veil Piercer, I have to buy it from a new merchant, the Bronze Oracle. But she doesn't deal with caps, dollars, or coins, she deals in blood. Specifically my blood. Once per day, I can trade up to 75% of my health points and get blood money as a return. Veil Piercer costs 5,000 blood dollars, so I was hoping to trade away my blood, run to the Atomic Wrangler, and sleep in a bed without having to hope that Francine is there to take my caps. Instead, I have to waste time making sure she's there, so great. 75% of my health right now is 228, meaning that I can make 228 blood dollars each time. At a price of 5,000 blood dollars, this means I have to do this process 22 times. I didn't bother recording most of it, but on my last blood sacrifice, I spent nearly 2 hours in the save. After dripping my blood into the tray, I try to have the Oracle turn my knife into Veil Piercer, but it turns out at some point I misplaced my knife. Probably when I was selling all my garbage. Because I'm the luckiest child of a very bad mother in all of California, I walk out of the Oracle's lair and immediately find a new one on a corpse. Right after I acquire my blade, a Freeside thug walks in, clearly offering himself up as a thrall. After stepping outside, I turn the corpses of a ton of thugs and kings who have been killing each other for the past month into an army of the dead the likes of which Vegas has never seen. Well, maybe one time. As it turns out, my thralls don't follow me around like companions like I thought they would, but that's fine. I can work with that. I return to the strip where Caleb pays the ultimate price for mildly inconveniencing me earlier. Then he pays it a second time when his undead form gets gunned down. I continue to test my new blade by unleashing my thralls upon the White Glove Society. Those people are basically ghouls anyway, so it's no surprise that one by one they take off their masks and reveal the horrors underneath. This is good. I like this. Some of the Omertas suffer a similar fate, but since they have guns, they're far better equipped to handle the zombie apocalypse, so I cut my losses and scram. You may suspect that the Tops is next, but no, it's Camp McCarran. To be honest, I couldn't even tell you why. I was planning to side with the NCR. I was just having fun, I guess. If you were me, you'd do the same. And fun I continue to have off in the direction of the boomers. There's really just nothing like walking into a new place and turning their faction into your faction. Watching all your new thralls rip apart their former friends for you to grow your army. Oh man, it's pretty great. Speaking of which, I finally circle back to the Tops. Why didn't I do it earlier? I don't know. I go in swinging, turning Swank and the door greeter into thralls. My army of 2 quickly grows since a lot of the chairmen have really bad weapons or are stuck in an animation. Benny watches all of his guards turn on him and dies by one of their hands. I bring him back from the dead only to cut him back down immediately because he's still holding the chip. With his empire in shambles, I enter the Lucky 38 to talk to House. I tell him that he's not getting the platinum chip. He told me to think about it. Well, I did. And I was curious whether or not he'd turn into a thrall when I killed him, but he does not, because he's already an abomination, not a human. Speaking of which, I start making my way to Red Rock Canyon. At first, when I started this playthrough, I intended to let them live for once. I changed my mind and ended up here, once again killing all of them, or trying at least. Some of the cons retaliated in the real world by repeatedly crashing my game instead of dying, but most of them were enthralled, and hopefully that's good enough. Embarrassingly, I have to go back to Nellis. The boomers at the gate are not happy to see me, but then again, who is? Go, my thralls! Once they're all enthralled, I pick up the Brotherhood holotape. Then I enthrall the Brotherhood, which I soon regret because the boomers start booming them right beside me. I fast travel as close as possible to Hidden Valley where I meet the rest of the Brotherhood. I start out swinging, thinking maybe there's a chance I'll win. I don't. So I comply with their demands and set out to kill Dobson. Dobson dies easily, but now we have to have a difficult conversation. Sometimes using Veil Piercer to kill someone doesn't qualify as killing them. I don't know why. I didn't realize Dobson wasn't seen as dead until after I quick saved, and now I'm soft locked. My last regular save is from an hour ago before I killed the boomers, so no. I tried for a while to get into the Brotherhood bunker by phasing through a wall, but failed. So I use console commands to kill him a 3rd time through the void. I think technically this means I failed the run since I had a cheat to rectify a drawback of the weapon, but whatever. We're just having fun anyway, right? Now that the Brotherhood don't have a pre-made firing line, I go ahead and start enthralling them. You might have guessed, but my army isn't exactly good against them since they have good weapons and, you know, fucking power armor. So it was mainly me leading the charge instead of my pawns. Like Dobson, McNamara isn't registered as dead even when I killed him a 2nd time. So once my army has overtaken the bunker, I blow it and all of them up. After some quick repairs, I return to Freeside to visit the king for a day. Pacer is the first to turn on him, just like in the regular game. I go room to room, clearing and converting them all, and all the king's soldiers and all the king's men ripped him to shreds, then I turned him undead. I go report to Crocker like he asked me to do forever ago. I let him know that the boomers are dead and that the king is dead. He's pissed, but if he didn't want people to die, he should have read my fucking resume before hiring me. He sends me off to Moore so she can deal with my worthless ass instead. Her first task is to go wipe out the con. Well that could be trouble. Even though it never worked any other time, I still go kill all my thralls in the hopes that the cons will be recognized as dead, but they aren't. So, I guess we're gonna have the first video where I've sided with the Legion. I think. I didn't check. Technically there was one video that I recorded where I did side with the Legion, but then I never uploaded it. I couldn't even tell you why, I just didn't. Inside of House's bunker, I skipped past most of the robots. Veil Piercer can't bring robots back from the dead, because only humans can die. If anyone knows what that's a reference, I don't even know what I'll do, but it would make me happy. That game's fucking peak. Instead of blowing up the bunker, I plugged the platinum chip into the computer, just as a backup plan to the backup plan. I report that the Boomers, White Gloves, and Brotherhood are all dead. Kaisar tells me about his brain tumor, and I set off to get some tools to help him with. When I get back with the tools, Kaisar runs out of his tent and over to me, desperate for me to do surgery right where we're standing. I comply, but Kaisar dies during the surgery because a bunch of sand got into his brain. Now, I interrupt this video to bring you a special message by me. Did you know that it's technically legal to say I want to turn the president of the New California Republic into an undead thrall that turns on his own people? Or maybe it isn't. I didn't actually look into it this time, I chose to act, rather than spend time making sure first. But once I do it and he's dead, I get the hell out of there. You think I want to get shot? After reporting back to Lucullus, it's time to storm the dam alongside many legionnaires. Some of them may die, but believe me, that's a sacrifice that I am willing to make. The eastern part of the dam is very quickly overrun by my third party of undead. Oddly, they don't attack everyone they see, only the NCR. Works for me. The west falls in a similar manner, uniting under one ghoulish banner. Inside the dam I realize, oh fuck, Veil Piercer might break. So I ignore most enemies and just rush to Oliver. The dead legionnaires at my feet make for a sizable army to combat his with. Oliver himself also joins after he gets killed by an unknown explosion. Once I've picked off a lot of his guys and it looks like I'm winning, the worst thing that could happen happens. Veil Piercer breaks, and I die. Not to worry, I have a plan. This is a good one. For whatever reason, every time you load a save in Oliver's compound, all of the landmines respawn, then explode. I believed that I would be able to run around and quick save and quick load in order to kill the rest of the enemies. This did not work, because the last ranger alive is a little bitch who refuses to stand near any of the mines. If this one guy was dead before Veil Piercer broke, I think this actually would have worked, but it didn't. I instead try looking around for a kitchen knife to repair Veil Piercer with. I scour everything, but all I find are combat knives. Why can't you fix it with a combat knife, you may wonder? I don't know. I actually couldn't tell you. I spent a frankly ridiculous amount of time coping myself into thinking that this was salvageable, but it wasn't. So I loaded back to before starting the battle. I collect a spare knife and some weapon repair kits before returning to the general's compound, this time killing them all, including that one ranger. But we're still fucked, because once again the problem of Veil Piercer occasionally not counting as killing people strikes again. Theoretically, I could keep retrying the battle until I get a run that actually works, but I see the writing on the wall. God is trying his best to stop me from finishing this run, so I'm just gonna listen to him for once and do what I do best. Give up. Yeah, that's it for this one, I guess. I'm gonna go eat breakfast. Oh, it's 12:30 p.m. I'm gonna go eat lunch.